The Ontario government has announced proposed rollbacks of recycling targets. The founder of Soul Recycling, based in Burlington, Simar Bedi, says that could risk undermining years of progress. Now, for those who don't know what changes the government did, let's talk about, first of all, what your business does. You're not dealing with what we put out in the blue box. You're dealing with what businesses deal with.
Exactly. So we are essentially the blue box for businesses. And what we do is we put recycling programs in to divert from landfill. And we pay for the recyclable material. And we have a saying, it's not waste until we tell you it is. And once we come into businesses, we'll tell you what's worth monetizing.
So you'll do like maybe a rundown of, going through, okay, what are you throwing out now?
Oh yeah, we'll do a full waste audit and we'll identify streams, being it plastic, metal, paper, cardboard, whatever have you, and we'll pay for every stream based on your volumes and what you're creating exactly.
Now, the government is kind of proposing that the rollbacks be halted for a bit because companies are saying it's too expensive to handle our own waste.
Correct, and that makes no sense because what we're doing is we're creating revenue out of your garbage essentially, and everything there was mined, like aluminum was mined, plastic because it's petroleum based, it was mined. These are
paper is processed.
Exactly. These are resources that we mine from our earth, and we're urban mining it to reverse engineer it and create value out of it again. So the notion that it's costing too much doesn't make sense to me. And the reason why that notion is there is because it's all controlled by the waste industry, and most of these waste industries are US based, and most of our garbage is going to the US. So they're saying, roll it back, this innovation's too much for Canada, let America handle it. No, but we're a Canadian company saying, no, that's not right, we could do it, we could solve the problem, and we are.
And you gave me a number.
Yeah.
80%.
80%. 80% is going to landfill and going into the US landfills. For Ontario, it's mostly going to Michigan. But no, we should not roll it back, take control of our waste, employ Canadians, and make money from our garbage.
Have you heard from the province at all, or have you spoken to the province?
No, I'm trying to, and I'm raising the red flag saying, hey, I have the solution to this problem, you don't need to roll it back.
And are there other companies out there like you that are doing this? You say that you've got business coast to coast.
Yeah, so there are other recycling companies, but the narrative is controlled by big waste, as they're the biggest players. They've been doing it for 100 years, and relatively speaking, recycling is new compared to landfilling. How do companies make a difference? How do businesses? You're a business to business. Yeah. So for businesses, you have to see, do you have a recycling program? Yes. Okay, good. Are you making money from your recycling? No. Okay, maybe talk to a recycling company. Maybe you're talking to a waste company. And they have to realize these are two separate industries. One's anti-landfill, one's owned by landfills.
And a lot of, I can imagine, so you deal with, like, imagine the waste or recycling that, say, a factory or a manufacturing business would have, but say an office too. Like with our own recycling, I'm not sure if it actually we are supposed to separate our waste, but I don't know what happens with it.
Right. With our company, you get full traceability of everything that you guys consume. So we'll tell you monthly, like, you created this much recycling and this much waste, and this is what we did with your recycling, and this is what it became. Right. So that's the difference. We're very transparent, right? And we have a saying, it's not waste until we tell you it is. And with all this Trump stuff going on, what if Trump says, no, we don't want Canadian waste anymore? So this is a big problem. We need to address it, right? Because that may be on the table for Trump. We don't know, right? With the relationship of how it's going on right now.
We don't know hour by hour.
Yes, yes.
Simar, thanks very much for coming in. We'll get your links up on our website at chch.com/morninglive.